First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji, host of Tier Talk. Welcome to another episode of Tier Talk. You know, me and Russ Hamilton yesterday did a great episode on the depopulation of the security housing units in California. Basically, the concerns that have been happening, and it was a great live Q&A. There was a question that came our way during the live Q&A that I would like to kind of cover again. We touched on it briefly, but I thought it was worthy of an episode. Definitely something that we must be aware of, but it's social media and how it affects the safety and well-being of our facility. And I want people to know that this could be a positive or a negative. So I believe the last video I did on this a while back was really focusing on the negative. I want to do both in this discussion. And I think it's something that we should be made aware of because, again, it could affect the safety and security of the facilities we work in. So we come back from our sponsors. I'm going to talk about how social media can affect the well-being of the facility, but let's also go on a higher level. Let's talk about the well-being of the profession. I think that would be something that right now social media can definitely have an effect on. So now, guys, if you haven't, the show Tier Talks for you going men and women that work in corrections. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell is going to notify you every time I post a video. We come back, we're going to discuss social media and how it can affect the profession. Stand by for our sponsor.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to my sponsor. So when we did a video last time, I'm going to kind of park in the parking lot here. Let me just roll down the window, get some air. When we did a video last time, what we did was we kind of focused on the negative. And that's still going to be a little bit of our discussion today. There's going to be a little bit of a negative here. But there's also some positive when it comes to social media. And really, it all relates to influence. What are we putting out there? Who's the influence for the people that are seeking knowledge? Because, guys, YouTube is a social media outlet, and actually the people that have YouTube channels are called influencers. That's kind of like the political correct term. So, yes, Tier Talk, you know, the channel that I have, I'm an influencer. The people that I have on my show, they're influencers. My community influences. So, there's the positive side, but I'll get to that. Let's talk about the negative side. One concern that we have now that we didn't have yesterday was the fact that what happens behind the prison walls can now make it to the social media. You know, can now get out there. Some people are like, well, that's a good thing because you have stuff that needs to get out there. It's not always such a good thing. It's not. Because at the end of the day, those cell phones that are being utilized to get out that social media message can be utilized for a lot of other things that are nefarious by nature, criminal by nature. So again, universal precaution is, can't let those inmates have that contraband phone. Now, with that said, we had the riot in Delaware in 2017, and we lost a hero that day, Lieutenant Floyd. You got to realize something. There was a lot of support that came from social media when that riot was happening live. So what does that support do? It motivates the inmates. It brings other inmates to that cause, so there's a sense of unity. And through that support, inmates will try to justify what they're doing. So now it makes it harder for us to get that sense of control because they're getting that public support. And trust me, when you get that support, it brings you together. You know, it motivates you to move forward. So that's not good. That's not good because we're trying to save lives here. And that support, however blind that support is for that perverse cause, it's making it harder for us to navigate some level of control. Now, I don't want to get slammed here by certain prison channels, so hear me out. Because last time my message got all twisted, but it has to come up again. Not all prison channels are bad channels. Some of these channels have a great message, and I appreciate that. RDAP Dan, I had him on my show recently, Dan Wise, great channel. He's teaching people how to work through the system, but how to be better. So when you're leaving, you're in a better position. I respect that channel. But there are some channels that teach people how to circumvent the system, how to go around. I'm not going to be specific with it because sometimes those channels actually have good content. But with that said, when you're teaching people how to circumvent the system, when you're teaching people how to get around the rules that are meant to protect and serve, that puts the facility at risk. That makes it harder for us to do our job to protect and serve. So that message that is getting out there is not really a good message. It's not. It's a message that really doesn't have value for the life that we're meant to protect, the lives we're meant to protect. So, with that said, and guys, by the way, even when I got slammed by those other prison channels, I turned a lot of those subscribers around when they actually took a time out and looked at the content and saw that the content was balanced. So there are a lot of people that follow this channel that actually have loved ones in the prison system that are asking for help. They sneak into the Q&As, and I'm going to tell you something, guys. The community, we help them. We give them answers because we want to give them a better understanding of the system. We do. Because that helps us. Because again, when the families don't know the system, they could be manipulated by the family members that are behind the wall. So it's good for us to give them an idea of what these things are, what these practices are, so that maybe they can start questioning their loved ones who's trying to get them to do something foolish for them. I mean, how many times do we have family members that get caught up? And they may not know. They just may not know. But with that said, now we have a community that's starting to help them. So we're actually making the effort here to meet in that middle ground. So bravo, because nobody's doing that. I'll tell you that right now. Nobody's doing that, but we are. So bravo, good job. We have channels out there like Cops and Corrections. That's Keith Helwig, Gary York's True Prison Stories. I mean, we have a lot of good channels out there that are passing a positive message, a balanced and fair message. And we have become a source of knowledge for people that are entering the field, people that are already in the field, and people that, as I said, may have a loved one that's in the system. Let's not also forget that we have Facebook groups, Facebook pages that have these communities that support and provide information to people that are entering the field of corrections. Now, guys, this goes two ways, by the way. I want us to make sure of something here. So with the use of social media and the information that we provide out there, the people that are entering this field have a lot more information now available to them. So when they come into the field, they should be a little bit more educated. Again, they're sitting in our community, they're learning, they're watching the videos, and they're getting their questions answered. So when they go out into that field, they kind of got a little bit of a perspective of what to expect from this profession. But don't forget, you get that from the other side as well. When you have people that are sharing that negative message and they're teaching inmates how to circumvent the system, or people that are coming into the system how to circumvent the system, you're going to have inmates that are a bit more informed than they were in the past. So we have to be aware of that. I mean, I said in my last video, guys, one of the questions we should be asking on intake are, what are the channels that these inmates watch? So we're kind of aware of what type of knowledge that they have. And again, I promise you guys, if any inmate is looking to circumvent the system, we need to prevent that to save other inmates' lives, to keep the facility running safe and secure. So we want to stop that because, again, we want to protect and save lives. So anybody that sits there and is against that, then again, as mentioned before, there is no value for the human lives that we're meant to protect and serve. But social media, as I said, has the negative component, but look at what I mentioned about the positive. Now we have avenues. We have roads where we can get information, we can become more informed, but also we can share our experiences. For those that may not have a Facebook account, maybe you should open a private one and get into these correctional officer groups. I'm not pushing it at you because I know some people, they're wary about it, but I promise you, if you decide to do it, join those groups. They're very informative, and maybe one day we can meet outside these groups. Another thing is, don't forget, I have the Tier Talk community, so eventually we'll start bringing that community out. We're almost 10,000 strong. We got to get a little more. Trust me, guys, we got to get those numbers into the hundreds of thousands. But either way, 10,000, that's 10% of the way there. Hopefully it only goes quicker after this, but it's all about us sharing the content, engaging, liking, making sure that we get enough of a response on each video that it pushes us up on the algorithm in YouTube, because that's the key, guys. Those engagement matters. If you like a video, make sure you hit that like button. make sure you comment, because the more engagement you have, YouTube starts pushing it up, and next thing you know, it goes into the suggested video content. So when people are watching a video that's similar to mine, it becomes suggested. Then there's more traffic that comes our way, and our community will increase. And then maybe one day you get that video, it's like, oh my God, that video took off, and then I get a huge amount of those subscribers back. Now we start developing a very diverse community. And a lot of people will say, hey Ganji, you know, your channel's public. Do you think that's a good idea? Yes. Because we have to let people know the truth about this profession. That's always been the reason why I've done what I've done. I got tired of people bastardizing the profession. So I had to have a public channel, because that's the only way I'm going to get the truth out there. So again, this has served a great purpose, because again, we're slowly turning people who once had an idea of what they thought the profession was. Now we're turning around, and it's a very slow momentum. And again, this isn't a channel for entertainment. This is a channel where you come to seek knowledge. But again, if you think about this, guys, the powerful impact that we're starting to create is great. We're creating momentum that's moving us forward in a positive direction. So that use of that social media is a good thing, because it gives us a chance to connect with people that are maybe entering the field, learn from people that are already in the field, or have an influence on people. If you have experience, share it. You know, when you retire, don't let that experience leave, share it. So again, I think right now we have to look for the best of both worlds. But right now, when we have one side just kind of so far ahead, our access to social media had to occur. It had to happen. So the pioneers that are doing it now, thank you. Thank you for stepping up and meeting that challenge, because it had to be done. Because if not, it would only be worse for us. So now, as I said, if you may have more experienced people that are entering the prison system, well, these channels that we have, these social media groups that we have, it's bringing us more experienced people to enter the profession. So we're trying our best to balance things out. And I'm telling you something, guys, from what I know, from the comments I get, the messages I get, people want to be in this profession. This community is motivating people to be in this profession. That's bravo. That's well done. It humbles me. So again, guys, this is just a video just to kind of let you guys know that social media, it's going to impact this profession. So we can't hide from it. We have to find out where we fit and play our role, have that positive impact. And I would like to think we're doing it. It's slow moving, because we're going to catch up. That's what it is. We're behind, so we're going to catch up. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. I feel the impact every day from the messages I get. And I really do think we're onto something great. I really do. So again, we have the negative side, but there's also a positive side. But because that negative side exists, we also have to have that positive side. Because if we don't, we are going to fall further back. And at this point, soon to be 2020, we cannot allow that to happen. A lot of us have worked really hard just to get that little inch forward. And I do not want to give up that inch at all. As always, guys, the show is Tier Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. Stay safe.